The odd guy on Twitter likes to shout, hey, relationships are important. Relationships in the industry are important. Relationships are important. And, for a while, I didn't understand what that meant. I've been in advantageous positions. Like, take, for example, I used to be music editor at Pulse. That was a space that had a lot of people come to me. It was easier for me to grant the requests or grant concessions or requests to the people I cared about. I'm not even thinking about whatever they're telling me, because the moment they're saying it, it's yes. Why? Because we have a relationship. There's some people that all they just need from you to maintain that relationship is how far. Just how far from time to time. Other people, what they need from you is just to play FIFA with you, to maintain a relationship. What do relationships do for you in the music industry? They smoothen things. They make things easier. It's the very engine of the music industry. A new artist can come out with all the money in the world, but guess what? They will always look for someone that the industry knows. Someone that knows their way through the industry to be able to execute for them. You know why? Because that person has a lot of relationships. That's why people like Bizo are celebrated in this space. A lot of relationships. The difference between an artist blowing and an artist tanking, half the time comes down to relationships. I'll give you very good examples. I'll give you Nyanya and I'll give you Adekunle Gold. Two things. So when Nyanya left, when Nyanya, blew with Ubi Franklin, Nyanya was an artist. Reports say he didn't build relationships. The person who handled all of that for him was Ubi Franklin, who did a lot of the work there, building relationships, having everything. So when they split, Nyanya suffered because we in one call. But look at another person who built relationships, Adekunle Gold. When Adekunle Gold came out with Sade, regardless of him being signed to YBNL, then he had the cover of Olamide. He personally sent you his records himself, and he'll tell you, hey, how far? He'll call you himself. Hey, how far? I have this one coming. Hey, how far? How far now? I have this one coming. So it's nothing. Like those calls, those random calls, they were nothing. But guess what? They appear to be nothing. But guess what? You have a connection with him. Tomorrow night, if he wants to drop anything, now they can go to say, hey, I want you to help me with this. You're more likely to consider him than the guy who you've not spoken to in forever and just shows up demanding something from you. The only reason why an artist can feature Wizkid is if he goes to someone that has a relationship with Wizkid. So that the person that's with a relationship with Wizkid can choose to sell that relationship with Wizkid and be like, I can take your matter to Wizkid. How much? Yeah, people do it. Or you might want to. Yeah, that's people's job in this game. Like that's how they that's their means of livelihood. Access. Hey, I want this, do this. I want this, do this. So if I want something from any camp, I can go to any camp and say, hey, I want this, I want that. And then I feed that into my business and I grow. The same thing with them. So if they want something from me and they're like, hey, I need this, my guy, I need this. And that happens. That's the informal way the music industry is run. That's the informal way cliques are fostered. That's the informal way beneficial groups of people, beneficial alliances are made, these relationships. And so for people who get into this industry and say, oh, I'm going to put someone between me and everybody else. Yeah, it's cool. You can be able to do that if you have leverage. Leverage means if you have a lot of hit songs in your pocket and everyone's trying to come to you. But even that, so it's a dangerous game to play because you would not always have those hit songs. And what happens then? The music industry runs on relationships. A lot of these relationships are personal. They fuel the business and heavily. And so people would only recommend the people they like. People would only connect with the people they are comfortable with. People would only spend money in places where they can see a smiley face at them or a reliable or friendly face at them. So chase your relationships. It might be the reason why you have a longer career or you do not take off.